Welcome to Life Impact TV. I'm Seán Brickell, the creator of Life Impact TV and the Life Impact System, designed to give you both the practical and psychological personal impact skills to help you dare even more than you believe you can, to help you achieve even greater personal and professional rewards in your life. Okay, so we have 40 different walking styles. I think they fall into 4 broad categories. 1, arrogant. 2, apologetic. 3, awkward. And 4, of course, appealing. Arrogant. This happens especially in business situations where people are trying to appear more successful, more wealthy, more employable, more payable, more likable even. You know, they'll try and take up more space. They swagger, sometimes a bit awkwardly, but also this is invariably accompanied by an interesting but unappealing set of facial expressions. For instance, a whiff of even disdain for you or for others. How on earth it can make them likable, employable, or appear this, that, or the other, that give the impression they want to, God only knows. But it's overcompensating, trying to create the right effect, but unfortunately giving the wrong impression. Secondly, apologetic. It happens both, well, take your pick, in personal and professional situations. Imagine this. You're going to a networking event at work. You're a bit nervous, a bit shy, you don't know anybody. You're going to a party where everybody seems to be in the swing, in the mood, having a great time. You feel awkward because you don't really know anybody, or you've got a really important presentation to give. You walk into the room, and the people sitting there or standing there can determine the success or failure of what you're about to present to them. Yeah, you're going to be nervous, understandably so. But you know what? You can be beaten even before you start. Socially, professionally, financially, emotionally, in all those situations, by the way you walk. The way you move, the way you carry yourself, because it says a lot about you. It says a lot about how you feel about yourself and how you feel about other people. And people often adopt the sort of turtleneck effect in body language terms, where they'll try and sort of hide their head almost into their shoulders like this, and they'll be more round-shouldered, a bit awkward. They'll walk in a more cautious, cat-like way, as if they're afraid of treading on something they shouldn't. It's all very apologetic. Thirdly, awkward. Well, take your pick. It's almost as if the brain, some people's brains and bodies are coordinated in one thing. A lack of coordination, because they feel so awkward and ill at ease. They go beyond being apologetic. It's nowhere near arrogant. They're sort of like a slightly random sort of swaggerer come shuffler. You know, you get people going out, like some of the girls, you know, get a bit drunk on a night out, you know, wearing heels so painfully high they can't walk them. You know, I think they struggle to walk anyway, particularly if they're inebriated. And blokes who wear maybe an outfit they're not used to try and give the right impression, and they feel a bit awkward, and therefore they walk strangely. You know, that sort of walking like a hod carrier with hemorrhoids is not a good look, so don't do it. Fourthly, appealing. Well, how are you going to have an appealing walk? How are you going to carry yourself in an appealing way? There are 3 ways. The first is the temperament tweak. You decide and you determine what your temperament is. Not just in the moment, but generally. And if you've done the Life Impact System, and you would have found out who you are, what your identity is, what your psychological identity is, what your values are, what your true self is, what your false self is, so you'll be much more comfortable with who you really are. And when you're more comfortable with who you really are, you walk more naturally, more powerfully, more persuasively, more attractively. It's as simple as that. So you decide what you want to be. I'm not talking about being technique or false, but you're going to go into a presentation, you're going to ask somebody out, you know, on a date, somebody you like the look of. What are you going to do? You're going to walk awkwardly? No, walk in an appealing way. And imagine you have a look on your face of warm authority. Therefore, you exude a feeling of warm authority. You're warm and approachable, but you also have authority. And therefore, you exude a polite amount of self-respect. Secondly, poise and position. It's about standing tall. Imagine you have an imaginary fishing wire coming out the top of your head. But it's having that poise, but also being pleasantly fulsome, but also flexible. So don't be stiff and try and stand so tall that it looks like you're in an invisible straitjacket, because that just looks odd, and that falls into the awkward category. And thirdly, and finally, the frank, factual film technique. Now, I'd be very surprised if any of you have done this. If you have, I want to hear about this. Get a good friend, or somebody who understands you, and you can trust, to film you. In work situations, out socially, in the street, shopping, whatever it might be, to see how you actually walk, to video you walking from a polite distance. and get them to do it repeatedly throughout a day, or however much time you've got with them, so it gets to the point where you're not actually aware that they're there, and therefore you'll be more natural, and you will learn a lot. It is frank, it is factual, and sometimes probably quite frightening, but you will learn so much more. Thanks for tuning into this episode of Life Impact TV. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you like this channel, then please subscribe, clicking on the link on this screen. And please also share it. Ideally, shout about it to your family, your friends, and your colleagues. I'd really, really appreciate it, as I hope they would too. And you can also get access to more great resources to help with your proven practical confidence communication skills to help you achieve the personal and professional success you so want at life-impact.co.uk. And remember this finally, with the right confidence and communication skills, even a little daring in your life can pay you much, much greater rewards. What you have to decide simply is what you want to achieve to make you feel truly fulfilled. And as you'll often discover, how little you have to do to make this happen. Thanks for tuning in, and look forward to seeing you again on Life Impact TV.